Let's wait one more or 2 more minutes for others, and we will start accordingly. Meanwhile, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, when we talk about something related to firewall, okay, we do have a term called firewall. So now what we will do, we'll make a bit interactive this session, just like last session, I was the one who was keep on talking. Now this session will be because I want to figure it out where we are all so that next classes would be an ease for me. So when I talk about something related to firewall, so firewall, it is a kind of device, or we can say this is a kind of system where you need it so that you can filter your traffic. Now I have certain kind of keywords here. I said traffic. Okay, I said filter. And I said system. So these are the keywords that I talked about here. So this traffic, when I talk about any kind of traffic, what do I mean by this kind sort of traffic when I'm saying any idea about like what kind of traffic we are on the computer networks area? So you can have any traffic. For example, you are trying to ping somebody. So that is called ICMP traffic. You are trying to generate HTTPS, www.google.com, cisco.com, anything. So that is web traffic. So that is HTTP or HTTPS traffic. Maybe you are trying to have some files downloaded from a particular server. Let's say you're most of the time with respect to certain kind of devices whose configuration is saved somewhere over the server, over the cloud also. So we use it FTP protocol. Then maybe you are trying to have a remote access, right? So that is called a telnet traffic. So many kind of traffic we do have. So that the data that any user is generating at a particular time of point. So that is called traffic. So maybe you are generating web traffic. Most of the time you are on internet only. So that is the reason HTTP and HTTPS services we normally know very. Okay, anyone who is talking, I would say please put yourself on mute. Thank you so much. Okay. Next one, I say filter. If I have to filter any traffic, so that means I have to say, let's say I am not interested in any other traffic. I just want to have HTTP traffic only, right? HTTPS, let's say. So I want to deny others. I want to allow a single traffic, or maybe I want a particular user. So that is a user-based filterization I want. So I said a particular user from my LAN site, I don't want to allow it. Or maybe a particular user is the one that I just want to allow, I want to deny for everyone else. Such kind of filters we just want to apply. So these filters you can apply on network address. You can apply on a particular IP address. You can apply on a port address, port number. Do I mean by this? Then you can have TCP or IP traffic altogether. And you can also now mention your user also. So these are the different kind of filters that depending upon your own situation, you can go for these. So these filters are called, in our language, we call it, these are the security or normal. So we say rules. So these are your rules that how you want to entertain your traffic at all. Now I said system. System, it is the combination of whatever the traffic you are allowing or denying, whatever, by using what kind of rules. So this is all together combination of your traffic along with all those filters. We call it, this is a system. So this system will be, it will check, okay, it will first of all compare whatever the incoming traffic is going. And also you have to mention under your rules, you have to tell the direction also. Is it incoming traffic or outgoing traffic? These all are the part of your traffic. Okay. So just like take an example of this, our traffic police or traffic rules whenever you go. So the direction matters a lot. Which direction you are going, left to right, right to left, right, left, straight, wherever you want to go about, turn around and all. So every single direction is important. So this system, we call it a firewall if and only if your firewall is capable enough to make all those filterizations as per your own convenient, these kind of parameters. So we call it a firewall, right? So with firewall, it is a system, or we can say firewall, it could be a device also. So that is a system. Then we have these firewalls. You can have a hardware firewall also. Okay, so we do have hardware based firewalls. You do have software also, any software that you can use. So these all are the flavors, like these all are the types of firewall. These all are the types how you will filter those traffic. So for example, we all are here for the Palo Alto networks, right? Palo Alto networks, they are the market leaders, we already know. So they have brilliant firewalls. So the very small firewall that they came up with the idea, now I'm talking about their hardware firewall. So that is a PA, it is called PA 200 series firewall. This PA 200 series firewall, it is very small kind of firewall. I do have certain kind of RJ45 connections here. So I have 4 RJ45 connections over here. Then I have one management interface, one USB is there, and one console somewhere here. Now, if you will carefully see, I can just, separate these kind of, uh, traffic or not traffic, these kind of interfaces. Normally on our LAN cables, laptops, we have laptops when we plug into any LAN cable. So these are nothing but your RJ45, what we normally call, these are your Ethernet interfaces. So we do have your Ethernet interfaces over here. So every interface that I'm talking about here, so these all are your Ethernet interfaces. You can connect any router, you can connect any PC, you can connect further any firewall, you can connect any switch here. So whatever you want. So any device that is further generating any kind of traffic that you can connect here. Can I connect any router to my management interface? Idea will be no. Why? Because this is a firewall, right? So it is just like it is hair dryer, right? So hair dryer, how you have, if you have to set up, let's say you have to imagine, you have to do certain kind of configuration changes into your hair dryer. How you will do? You do not have any, imagine there is no button at all. So you have to do it somehow programmatically. So in that case, you have to have the output screen of your hair dryer so that you can actually set up some parameters over there. Similarly, let it be your router, your firewalls, your switch, anything. If you want to configure them, then you have to take their graphical user interface or CLI based interface, but you have to take the user access. That user access is only and only taken by your management interface of your firewall. So now particularly I'm talking about your Palo Alto firewall, and it is not just on Palo Alto you have management interface. You have management interface on almost every vendor's firewall. Other vendors like Cisco, Checkpoint, Fortinet, we do have all these vendors. There will be one management interface.
Hello.
So this management interface, yes, anyone is talking about here?
Yes, it's Rafi here. So actually, it's being very fast. Like, can you go a bit slower? I'm like,
Okay, am I
yeah.
talking? Am I
I'm
talking?
really sorry for the interruption, but I'm like I feel like it's too much fast.
Okay. What about others? Am I talking too fast today?
No, it's good. For me.
I don't think so.
Okay, okay.
Actually, this is a basic, right? That's why fast also good. But
Correct, correct.
when you are
Yeah.
going to deep, na packet inspection like that, we are facing some issue.
Yeah.
Not me, some other facing some issue definitely.
Okay, no problem. We will look after for everyone here.
Yeah,
So
actually, I'm new into this firewall topic, so maybe because of that, I'm feeling a bit
yes, yes, yes. No problem. No problem. I'll be okay, a bit
Hello,
balanced.
madam. I am also feeling little bit fast.
Yes, yes, yeah. Now I think, yeah, I will be a bit slow now. No problem. Okay, thanks. Anyone? Okay, so now actually this is day 2. I mean the second demo for some people, and for people who are very new here, it's okay. But still, this is basic fundamentals. Last time also, I just went through very, very basic level, fundamental level, like why do we have a need of these firewalls and all. So basically, I'm trying to explain you. We do have 2 categories of these interfaces of any device. If it is your firewall, in specific, I'm talking about your Palo Alto firewall. So one category of interfaces where you will connect your LAN cable, your PC cable, where exactly the data will be there, whatever you have to filter. So in Palo Alto terms, this partition, it is called data plane. And these interfaces where you are just taking the user access, that access that you have to configure your firewall and all. So this is called your management plane. So we do have data plane, we do have management plane. So let's see in the different angle. If any firewall of Palo Alto, so there will be always logically a partition between them. One is called your management plane, another one is called your data plane. Okay, so management plane, it is responsible for some different kind of responsibilities are associated to him. And for data plane, you do have different responsibilities associated with that. So management plane, it is responsible for user access. This is point number 1. So I'm just keep on writing over here. So user access, your data plane, management plane will come into picture. When I say user access, what do I mean by user access? Anyone who can give me any example? What do I mean by user access? Let's say I have a firewall. Okay, this is my firewall. And logically, you can see there is one management plane. So here it is management plane. Here it is my data plane. Can anyone please tell me, when I'm saying user access, what is the real life example of user access? Why do I need to have the user access?
Like a CLI and GUI to push an update to the data plane.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever our configuration done in management.
Yes. So you have to configure your firewall. Okay. So for example, let's say I have 4 your RJ45 connection point here. So this is my, let's say, Ethernet 1 by 1. Okay. So this is my Ethernet 1 by 1. Similarly, second one is Ethernet 1 by 2. Third one is Ethernet 1 by 3. Fourth one is your Ethernet 1 by 4. So these are my 4 interfaces of the firewall. I want to give IP to them. So how I will give them IP? So for that, you have to log in into your firewall as network admin or whatever the role you have. So you have to log in into your firewall as admin or super user, whatever it is. So you will be logging as, let's say, default credential for Palo Alto is username is admin and password is also admin. So all small letters. This is how we normally get logged into firewall. Okay, when I'm saying log in into firewall, so we have 2 methods. Number 1 is CLI, another one is called your GUI. Okay, so CLI, another method is graphical user interface. So on CLI, you will see such kind of boring screen, but this is my notepad, this is not CLI. CLI will be your command line interface where you will do every single thing with the help of commands only. You cannot do anything with click, 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 nothing. Graphical user interface means graphically it is much more user interactive. So here you do have readability much more better than your CLI. So graphical user interface, if you want to take, now please listen to me everyone. So this is my GUI access, this is my CLI access. Now, whenever you have a brand new firewall, your default credentials, your default management interface is given to you as, because even if it is a CLI, let's say this is a CLI. So normally you will use console cable, USB cable, or whatever the cable you want to take. So you will connect it with somehow. And then first thing that you will see, you will configure its management interface. Okay. So default management interface settings are 192.168.1.1/24. I hope everyone is clear about IP addressing and all. Yes. /24 means, what do I mean by /24? Which class it is?
C.
Class
Class
C.
C.
Okay, let's have quickly a very quick review of all those classes. Class A,
Class
class
C.
B, class C. Can I have the range for class A, class B, and class C over here?
1 to 127, 127 to 128 to 191, 192 to 223.
Okay, so 1 to 127.
7,
123.
128 to 191.
Yes.
192 to
192.
223.
That's enough. That's enough. And their subnet masks are /8,
60
/16, and
and 24.
/24. Right? So this is what the classes are. Very good. So now 192.168.1.1. This is in every class we do have a private range also. In class A, we do have tens network. Whole network is reserved for your private class address. So that means from 10.0002 to 10.255.255.255/8. What about your class B? We do have
172.16.
yeah
0.0 to 172.31.255.255.
great. So this is what our class B's private range. What about class C? It's 192.168 1.0 to 192.168.1.255. So that is all. Every class we do have something called private range. This private range is free of cost, so nobody has to pay anything for this. They can use anytime. So this is your IP addressing in case if anyone is having some doubts. Second thing is now this management cable, whatever you are plugging into your laptop, PC, whatever, now you have to configure it. Because this 192.168, if let's say you are the customer number 1 of the store, customer number 2 has also bought one same firewall, their management interface will also be same. But what is the difference between your management interface and their management interface? So basically, whenever you will be logging into firewall for one time, very first time, so it will ask you to change the management, at least username and password. So this admin, it will ask you, it will prompt you to change the password. Second thing is, it is recommended you have to change, or most of the time we already know what will be if I have to buy one Palo Alto firewall, then I know what will be my management IP is going to be. So you have to change your management IP. So first thing, whenever you have a brand new firewall, you will always configure. So you will set up your management interface only. So management interface IP. So for that, you have to, can I go to GUI for changing my management interface for the first time? No, right? Because GUI means this is a CLI based. You will be plugging the cable straight away. You will give this IP here, that IP here. It's okay. You will be taking the console based connection also. In that case, sometimes you don't even need IP. But in GUI, if you want to take, how you take the GUI access? Anyone knows how we take the GUI access? So you have to go to
URL.
Yes, it is a URL. It's a HTTPS based. So let's say you are having this PC connected over here. I'm talking about same PC now. Now you are connecting with your management interface, not console cable now. There are different interfaces of your firewall. First, I was talking about console interface. This is console. Now this one, I'm talking about management interface. These two things are different. Their main job is to take you the user access, but there are two different ways. CLI means console. GUI means management interface. So you can imagine. So there is something called management interface here. We can draw here only, no problem. So in this side, now you do have one PC. So here you have to take the GUI access. In that case, what you have to do, your default credential, your default management IP is this one, 192.168.1.1. So because this is a direct connection happening between them, you have to give what will be the not management, what will be the IP that you will configure on your PC.
From the same subnet, we can do it.
Same subnet you have to give, right? Because this is direct connection is happening. So it is like two people are holding one kind of thread with each other. So if I am holding, let's say one side I'm standing, another side some other person B is standing. We are holding one thread. It is a red color thread. If I'm holding red color thread, that means other person is also holding the red color thread, right? Same thing in computer networks. If two devices, they are directly connecting with each other, then they have to have the same subnet or network address, exactly the same thing. So IP cannot be same. Here you have already 192.168.1.1. This PC you will give what kind of IP you will give now? So here you will give 192.168.1. let's say 2/24. This is what you have to give. Now, if this thing is ready, next step will be you will go back to your, on here only, you can go to Chrome. So you go to Google Chrome and then you have to type https:// then the management IP of your firewall 192.168.1.1. This is what you have to type and then hit enter. Once you will be hitting the enter, now you will see there will be a GUI access of your firewall that is asking you to enter your username and password. So this is a very small thing when we talk about it. Okay, fine. Like, what is rocket science in this one? But now we have to understand how this whole thing is happening behind the scene. How your management interface is understanding. Okay, because HTTPS, it could be your web traffic also. I just mentioned few minutes back, it could be any website, but this is not website. How comes your firewall came to know this is not a website, this is my management interface, and how I have to behave like management interface IP only, how I have to showcase them. Okay, enter your username and password. So this is the task of your management interface internal programming. So let it be your management plane, let it be your data plane, each and individual interface. Now I'm talking about all those interfaces. They are designed programmatically in such a way they understand what is their role. If you are browsing your management interface just like this, that means your management interface, it is having that kind of services enabled that is allowing your firewall to give the GUI access. Now let's get into it a bit deeper level. Okay, put yourself on mute, please, Sanjay. Okay. So let's say this is my firewall. Now I'm just taking these two things into actions. This is my management interface 192.168.1.1. This is my PC here 192.168.1.2 here. And now I have entered. I went to Chrome and I said https://192.168.1.1. Everyone should be on the same page till now. They should know what I'm typing, where I'm typing. I'm typing on my PC's Google Chrome. What is this? This is the management interface IP of your firewall. Everyone is clear about this or not? Yes?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So no confusions should be up to here.
Ma'am,
Yeah?
without the use of
One by one, please.
without the use of CLI, we can directly log in through default IP address through GUI.
Yes, you know, you can, but you have to confirm first. You always have to go to CLI because first login, you cannot go directly to your firewall's GUI. First of all, you have to take the CLI, then you have to confirm on CLI what is your management IP. So you have to run the command like show interface management. So it will give you sometime. It is not like always you will be having management IP over there. So you have to check what is the IP over there. It might be some different also. So you have to check. For brand new firewall, it is 1.1 only. But if it is not brand new firewall, some other network admins also log into this firewall, then you have to confirm first from CLI. Because GUI access means you are already assured, very much sure. Like, okay, fine, 192.168.1.1 is the IP. You know it very well. That is the reason we are going. Otherwise, this connection won't happen. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So 192.168.1.1, then I hit enter. So what is happening now? If anyone remember, in the last session, I told there are something called daemon. Remember what is a daemon? Yes. So because now management plane or data plane, It is not like a firewall. I will break my firewall and there will be two parties, management plane and data plane. No. So this is altogether part of your PAN-OS only. So you do have operating system that is working on the behalf of your every single service that is being done right now. So your Palo Alto Networks operating system. So this is called PAN-OS. Every firewall's operating system, it is named like this, PAN-OS. So this PAN-OS, it is a Linux based environment. So Linux comes first. Under Linux, we do have a distribution. It is called CentOS. From CentOS, you do have further distribution that is called PAN-OS. Okay, so this is how you are landing at PAN-OS. So you do have roots from Linux. In Linux environment, everything, it is called a daemon. That is a working software module. It is called a daemon. In Windows, we call it a service, right? So, when for computer science people, I would say this example is for them. Normally, when we were into our studies, we say, what is the definition of a program? So we say program, it is nothing, but it is some lines of code, right? So this is lines of code. This is called a program. Then we say, what is process? Process means a program in execution. Okay, so this is called a program in execution. So this is called your process. So process means, now you have to understand here. When you are, let's say I created one program in C language, let's say, okay, I created one very small program. It is taking two numbers, A and B, and it is giving you their sum. So I'm calculating C equals to A plus B. This is a normal program that I calculated. It is working like this. I just made this program. I written some lines of code. I saved it and I'm okay. Now I'm running this program. In case you have written a program in particular language, and also you want to execute that. Now you will execute and you will test whether your program is working or not. Now this program will be in execution mode. It will be linking so many files with each other so that you can see the live output over the screen. So that is called, now it has become a process. So there are two terms. If your program is just sitting on hard disk, that is called a program only. It is saved there. Nobody is touching it. But if your program is running, you can take any other example. For example, let's say before some few minutes, this Zoom application was as it is available on my desktop. I was not using it. Right now, I'm on Zoom. This is into execution. So there is a process going on. Okay. So something is called a program. Program means a program is there inside somehow your on your hard disk memory and all. But then there is a difference between some application is there and some application is getting executed. So anything that is under execution, so that is called your, in Linux environment, that is called your daemon. So it is called daemon. We do have a software process. That means we do have a daemon for almost everything for your firewall. So what do I mean by for everything? So for example, you might have listened about the term called routing table, right? So such thing, like what is a routing table? Anyone knows? What do we have all in routing table?
Yeah, which shows the
Best route.
Route path, source to destination path in router.
Information of the route, sir.
Yes.
About
A routing table, it is like, sometime when we go to airport, when we go to railway station and all, you see there is a schedule of your flights, you see a schedule of your trains and all. That is their routing table. Okay, so they will tell you which flight number is going from city number 1 to city number 2. So this is their routing table. Same thing, routing table, it is a kind of entries that will tell you from particular source to particular destination, but destination here, significance of destination is much more here in the routing table. It will tell you if you want to go to particular destination, which way you have to go. So who is going to be your next hop? Next hop means who is going to take your traffic from the after this device. So this is called your routing table. So routing table, now your firewall is nothing but it is a router also. In fact, it is much more than a router, a normal switch. So firewalls are like extra power devices that normally they by default they will behave like router and switch also. But now they are much more than your routers and switches. So by default, every firewall will be behaving like a router. Even if you don't want to enable the firewall specifications or you don't want it to work like a firewall, it's okay, but still you can make it work like a router also. Okay, so routing table would be maintained by your firewall, and this routing table is maintained by one sort of daemon. So that daemon, that is the responsibility of a daemon. So that daemon, it is like somebody has said, hey, your duty is to maintain that routing table. So that daemon's name is called route d. Route means routing, D stands for daemon. Similarly, we do have something called MP relay that is also for your routing table. So route D will be having all those possible entries for a particular destination, whereas MP relay will be having your best routes among all of them. So that is called your routing table. So both daemons, so these are the name of the daemon. They will be maintaining the routing table for you. Similarly, we do have, we do have every sort of daemon for almost everything. Now, my question is, if I'm on this PC, I'm trying to open my firewall through management interface. And once I'm done with hitting the enter, will there be any daemon coming into picture or not? What do you think? Like how, because now your data is sent from here to here. Your firewall's interface, management interface has received this chunk. What will happen first now?
A daemon comes into action, like
Yes. So
like GUID, something.
yes, definitely. But it will not be GUID, but for sure, yes, good. There will be a daemon coming into picture. That is called your MS daemon will come into picture. It is called a management server. So this management server will receive this request and it will say, okay, fine. This request is for the which kind of access it is asking. So it will decide. So management server will decide, okay, because it is generated from HTTPS. So this is my GUI access. The client is asking for GUI. So now it will hand over the page to GUI, wherever it is asking, enter your username and password to back your client machine. So your client machine would be able to see that username and password screen over their login page now. Now, next thing is, now let's say it has asked me, now my output on the screen, it is asking me username. And now it is asking me password. I entered both of things. Okay, let's say I entered username as admin. Password also, I entered as admin. And then I clicked on something called login. Now, the moment I'm clicking on login button, this is important now. So here, once you clicked on login button, not page, login button, now your firewall will be handing over the data, or it will be calling upon a daemon who understand what do I mean by this username and password, who will be, resolving this thing. So there is a method how your username and passwords will be compared to a particular firewall system, whether you have entered the correct username or password or not. So now there will be a path that you have to follow. Okay, I'm just going to remove everything here. So now let's say login. Once you are clicked on login, your MS daemon is going to something, it is called your sys daemon, sysd. So sysd daemon, it is a kind of overall, supervisor, which looks after every kind of daemon, whatever they have done. So MS daemon will come to walk to your sys daemon and it will say, this particular device, whosoever was the IP, let's say 192.168.1.2, it asked me for the GUI access. So I gave him this page. Now I don't know what to do next. That was my only job and I have done this. So it will hand over whatever it has done to sysd. Now, whatever it has done, it is nothing but we have a fancy name for this. That is called a log file. Okay. Every daemon's job is to create a certain kind of log file. So now it will hand over those logs to sysdaemon. So sysdaemon will have this log. Now it will ask, okay, fine. Next button, client has clicked over login button. So sysdaemon will call upon one new daemon who understand what do I mean by this username and password, how to give the access to user. So for that, we do have a different daemon that is called your authd, authentication daemon. So now authd will come into picture and authd will compare whether this username and password, it is a legitimate login or not. So if it is a legitimate login, what are the factors? So there is a process how you will check whether the particular username and password, whatever you have entered, it is correctly done or not. So in authd, now authd is programmed like this. It will check whether this user is created locally on local database of your firewall, or is it somewhere is any authentication profile is there. Okay, so if it is a locally created username, then you have to imagine it is created on this firewall's memory only. Okay, so normally you have a 16 GB SSD memory for your management plane. So this is 16 GB RAM memory that you have here. So if it is created on itself your firewall, that means this is a locally created username. But if you try to have any profile linked with this one, that means this username is here, but there is a profile. This profile is saying if you want to authenticate this user, you have to go to the particular server, that is Active Directory server, maybe in this case. So now hint is if, so it is if then else conditions only, nothing else. So now if the user is created locally, that means both things you will find locally only. That means username and password. If it is, let's say you do have LDAP. LDAP means this is a protocol that is linking your firewall's authentication with Active Directory. If it is LDAP profile that you found here, so that means it is not locally created, then we have to follow the different path. I'm not going into LDAP now. It is altogether a very different, direction of discussion. So let's say this user was created on the local database of the firewall. So it checked username and password and it say, yes, this is on the firewall itself. Now, after having this verification and authentication, now your PC, this client would be able to see the first phase of your firewall. So we will be having 7 tabs of the firewall. Now I'm going to tell what are those 7 tabs. Any questions so far up to here? Forget about LDAP part. No more discussion on LDAP part. Any question up to here? Locally created user, how it will take the access and all. Shall I go ahead with those 7 tabs now?
Just a question. So
Yeah.
this management plane is considered as a control plane, what I can see from.
Yes. In fact, it was named as control plane only before a few years, but control plane as a name was also being used by some other vendors. So they have changed the name from control to management plane. Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So, ma'am, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, for any organization, if we have firewall here, so does we need a router also or no need of router? I think no need.
Firewall will be actually sitting at the perimeter of your organization. So it is like just sitting on the boundary. But if your organization is very small, then I think this will be working as a router part also. But if your organization is, by the way, we shall never ever rely on the single device. What will happen if firewall will be crashed? So you will be losing everything. So better to have routers so you can have those upstream and downstream devices.
Advisable to have router.
Yes, so better you can have. Okay, Ved is saying I'm having some problem with my mic. I will disconnect and rejoin. Okay, no problem, Ved. You can go and come back. All right, so let's go with our 7 tabs of your firewall. So on your firewall, once you will be given with the right username and password and hitting login page, now here somewhere you will be having these 7 options for you. Okay, so these 7 options I'm going to write down. First tab, it is called your dashboard. Next tab is, it is called your ACC. Third tab, it is called your monitor. Fourth one, it is called your objects. Fifth one is called your
Network.
policies. Sixth one is called your network. Seventh one is called your device. Okay, so these are the 7 tab of your Palo Alto firewall, and this is what all together, whatever you have to learn through your training or maybe throughout your future career also. So you will be dealing with these 7 tabs. Okay, so you have to now, today, let's have a quick overview of all these things. Dashboard tab will be responsible for whatever model number you are having, whatever the management interface you are having, whatever management IP. I'll show you in a bit. Just after this discussion, I'll give you that page also, how to get see this one. Next comes your dashboard, will be talking you about so many things. Okay, so it will be like a summary of your firewall. What about your firewall? How what is the management IP? What is the model number? What is because when we talk about management and data plane of the firewall, so I yes, who is this? Guys, please put yourself on mute. It is like somebody is shaking my head. Okay. All right. So let's say I said we do have management and data plane. Both of them, they are the separate layers of operating systems. So they work independently, but we do have a single CPU. In PA200 series, there is single CPU. This is a dual core CPU. So there are 2 cores. One core is dedicated to your management plane. Second core is core number 2 is dedicated to your data plane. So that this is how they are working. So now dashboard tab will also tell you what is the CPU utilization of your management interface. If your management CPU utilization is crossing 80%, it will be very, very visible over here. If it is crossing over 80%, then it is a kind of alarming situation for you. You have to reduce some sort of traffic which is going through your management plane. Now you might think like, what sort of traffic I can have over your management plane? So management plane, as I think I have already mentioned, so it is responsible for your PAN-OS upgradation, downgradation, any license updates, any kind of your LDAP sort of user ID, LDAP. These all by default traffic belongs to your management plane only. So this management CPU will always be consumed very high. If it is going beyond 80%, then you have to slow down your process. You have to check, is there any updates are going on? You have to stop them, because more than 90 or 95% your firewall may get crashed also. So do not take any risk. If it is going up to 80%, then you have to stop certain kind of updates that are going on right now, or most of the time every Wednesday actually. So every Wednesday about 2 a.m. there will be automatic updates going on every single time. So make sure if you have any kind of particular traffic that time, you can change this timing, so you can plan your own updates. So this is what the default time is set by some sort of network admins. So dashboard tab will be giving you overall idea. What kind of, who are the users logging into your firewalls, and sysdaemons log will also be there. So you will be having some kind of user logs, that means user access logs. Sysd logs will be there. Dashboard will tell you about your management IP and all also. So many things will also be there. So
Excuse
that is
me, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I request you, if you're explaining at the same time, can you open the firewall and show me
Yes,
the?
that is what I was trying. Yeah. Let me just check because sometimes it's very slow. I'm trying to have that one if it is open. Otherwise, I'll pick you from some other PPT. There will be those. Just allow me 2 minutes, huh?
It will be helpful to understand.
Yes,
more.
yes,
Yeah,
I completely agree.
yeah, thank you.
Yep. It takes a lot of time to come up with these things.
So meanwhile, Shagun, where we can access the previous class videos? Any idea?
It is, I think you can talk to someone from the IT team. They will give you a brief idea. Normally, I don't know how they are maintaining, but you can just ask them. Okay,
Right.
so I hope this is visible to all of you. This is a PPT, not your firewall. Otherwise, firewall, normally even the real production environment also, it will take minimum 10 to 15 minutes to boot. So that is the reason I was not going into it. So this is our firewall. Once you will be giving this login, management IP and all. So this is what you will get, username and password. You will come up to here. And then after that, let's say you want to configure all these things. So these are the tabs that I was talking you about. And this is what after the login page, you will see this telemetry data will be there. Your PAN-OS version will come here. And now if you can briefly see, this is your dashboard information, right? Behind this one, not this one, behind this one. So it will tell you device name. That means your model number. Management IP will be there. Your subnet mask will be there. So many other things will be here. I'm just trying to bring as much as I can. So here, this is the overview of your dashboard, what you will be having. So if you can see, this is your PA200 series firewall is there. So this is last login time you can have, failed login indicators. This is what how many times anyone got failed here. And then if you go further, this is how your, if you will click on this exclamation mark, it will give you all those failed login attempts by anyone. Second thing, this is the taskbar, just like our computer's taskbar. You have a taskbar right here down there. If you can see, this is called a tasks. This is your taskbar. So you will see what is really going on. And then this is a commit, actually, how the commit process works. Commit is, it is like a save button. It is very early to tell you, but that is the reason I'm not going into it. And here, idea is we will be having certain kind of logs. So this is your 7 tabs of firewall. Exactly, you will see your firewalls like this only. Dashboard, ACC, monitor, policy, object, network, and your device tab. So dashboard will be giving you the ideas like what is really going on your firewall right now. So it will tell you, if you can see, this is the section of your system logs. See, system log is saying somebody was trying to upgrade it, user ID came into picture, captive portal, blah, blah, blah. So this is like a sysdaemon. Sysdaemon will be maintaining the different logs from different daemon that they have handed over to them. So sysdaemon logs will be here. And apart from that, every kind of log is present under your monitor tab. If your firewall is licensed, so you will be able to see every sort of log are there. So traffic log, user ID log, URL filtering logs, everything you will see here. So you do have those all logs present in the monitor tab. So for example, if you will see here, logged in admins, admin name, whatever the admin, just like I entered like admin as username and password. So this is what I was having. So now it will tell you from means now which device I use to log in. So here it will tell you my PC's page. And whenever you do have a GUI based login, it will always tell you as, a GUI and all. So right now somebody tried with web. So that was SSH, right? So web login means it could be your SSH. If it is GUI, then it should give you the GUI access only here. Other than that, these are your system resources. So this is what I was telling you. You have to keep an eye on your management CPU utilization. Right now, it is showcasing you CPU utilization is only 2%, data plane CPU utilization is 1%. So still you are on the safe side. But if management CPU utilization is going beyond 80%, so this is a kind of alarming situation for you. You have to do something here. Down there, something is called your session count. Can you see here? This is called a session count. Session means 27 out of 2 lakh.
I have one question, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, if CPU utilization of the management plane is 80%, then that is the alarming situation. But if CPU utilization of data plane is higher, then what can I do?
So if we have the CPU utilization of data plane gets higher.
Yes.
In data plane, why it is happening? The reason is it could be because too much traffic is bombarding towards your firewall. So data plane, it is still 80 to 85%. You have to go for the saturation point, even if it is going beyond that. So make sure it is not any kind of attack is going on. So most of the time your data plane CPU utilization will always stable be up to 80, 82%, 80, 82 or beyond that. If it is shooting up to 90, 95 like that, so you have to check what kind of traffic, then you have to troubleshoot how many packets you are receiving per minute, per second, then you have to troubleshoot like that. Because maybe there are some entries or some traffic is traveling, which is no longer meaningful to you. So you have to troubleshoot through global counters and all. So you have to do such kind of troubleshooting. And in case your management CPU is getting too much utilized, then you have to kill certain kind of processes. Killing means in Linux environment, closing down some unnecessary processes which are running behind at the back end. It is called closing or killing that process. So you have to kill those processes or sub processes, whichsoever are the part of your device, which are just taking or eating your management CPU utilization for no reason. And then this is a session. Okay, now I want to give you one example on session and packet. Packet means a random thing. Okay, let's take one very vague example. A person name whose name is ABC. He applied for a company called 123. So they applied for the particular job position. So they just applied for it. Okay. So similarly, there are 100 more people applied for that. People who are applying, who are coming towards your job portal, we are the packets, right? Packet could be any random thing. But now shortlisted people who will be shortlisted from the stage number 1, they will be entered into the next level. So this is called a session. Anyone got my point or not? Yes.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Okay. So packet means, okay, thank you so much. So packet means it could be a random packet just coming towards your firewall. But if a packet is not at all legitimate, it could be an attack also. So your firewall is not breaking its head to resolve every kind of packet, right? So firewall is designed, is programmed in such a way, if there are some prerequisites, it is not blindly taking every packet and processing it. No. Before processing it, your firewall is doing the inspection of your packets. If that inspection is getting failed, then there will be no entertainment for that packet. So all those packets who are passing through the first inspection state, that will be creating one kind of session. So you have session count on every Palo Alto firewall. So 256,000, this is a session capacity of your firewall. That means at a time in a table, there could be these many sessions can be there. So every single traffic that is a very good traffic for your firewall. Now in the next class, maybe we will be talking about what is a good traffic at all. Today we are just left with 5-6 more minutes. I don't want to, go into that direction right now. But here session means a very good legitimate traffic that your firewall thinks, yes, I can process it. Okay. So let's say I am the HR for some company. I received 50 candidates for a particular position. I shortlisted 30 out of them. Why? Because I have those what do I say, eligibility criteria with me. So I said, okay, these candidates are meeting that criteria. That is the reason they are shortlisted for next process. So now that eligibility criteria, these are called your policies, your routing tables. So your firewall will check, first of all, is this a very good traffic? For example, I'm trying to give you a ping of death. This is an attack. So here my source and destination, they both are going to be the same thing. So whenever your firewall will see, okay, source IP is also same, destination IP is same, then your firewall will be like, no, I don't want to handle this traffic. So that means firewall will simply say, go, I don't want to entertain you at all. So you're not of my type, right? So this kind of things, whatever your firewall is, just dropping them, they won't create a session. Session would be only created by certain kind of packets that are meeting certain kind of prerequisites or that eligibility criteria. So every session is a packet, but every packet is not a session. Clear?
That means, madam, we can say 2,56,000 traffic that it can block.
It can be there, but some sessions are only for 5 seconds, for 10 seconds. So the same session ID can be given to anyone else. It's like very rare you will be running out of those sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, just a question. So these sections depend upon the model that we have, or it's just a limit, like a higher model?
Yes. In PA 200 series firewall, you have only 64,000 sessions. Higher end, yes, you do have 2,56,000. You have in millions also. So these are the firewall capacity. Depends upon which mid range, low range, higher range.
Well, which range that we are using?
We will be using your VM based firewall. So most of the time your session capacity is into 64,000 or 2,56,000. But this is happened with your licensed firewall. We have to check.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now you tell me any questions for me, because I don't want to give you some more details. So next one will be your PAN-OS discussion and all. We will have a fruitful discussion. So that is the end for me on this case. So I would welcome any kind of questions now. Please tell me.
Yeah, you mentioned that if there is a high traffic and the CPU utilization is high, so we can look into the sessions and narrow down like what is leading to the high traffic. So can we do it using the same dashboard, or it is like we use some other external?
No, CLI only. You have to go to CLI, but there is a different approach altogether to deal with your high CPU utilization. So yes, that is possible, but you have to handle it with care. Otherwise, you may be ending up with crashing down your firewall also. It's a very, very sensitive thing.
Okay, but it is internal to Palo Alto itself. It's not something we do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
I have one question.
Yeah, Ved.
Yeah, in case suppose if your CPU utilization is like I checked all the traffic are genuine. Still I'm reaching on 99%. So what can be done in that case? For example, why I'm saying you, for example, for a system, suppose if a RAM is 4 GB and it is completely, all the 4 GB are getting utilized. In that case, we are going for the, upgrading. So is any kind of such kind of things we can do here?
Your RAM, until and unless you are not customizing the hardware for your firewall, that means on VMware based stuff. So that might be a problem. Otherwise, every firewall, they come up with their own internal hardwares and software specifications. But if you are not able to, narrow down the utilization on management plane, then definitely there are some updates are going on or plugin updates are going on that you have to ultimately stop them. Otherwise, your management plane will not be shut down in a very easy way. So there is, that's what I was talking to, I think, Ganesh. So here the topic is your how to deal with. It is a separate kind of domain and separate kind of topic. This is one of the most practical thing that you will be dealing maybe once you will be 1 or 2 years experienced in Palo. So this is a different kind of troubleshooting that you have to do. You have to go to system resources. You have to check which is the main daemon process which is consuming your CPU too much. Then you have to kill all the daemon, that process and any sub process also that it is linking with one by one. So this is a process how to deal with. Like we have a separate approach for this.
Okay. All right.
Shagun, just a question. Just wanted to know the topics that we covered. Does it have any step by step like what we are going to cover in the upcoming lectures? Any flow that you have?
I normally start with the okay. What I'll do, I'll forward to my team in networkings. I'll give my topics whatever I will be going as per your batch. Okay, you can have them.
The reason I'm asking because like in Palo Alto we do have like a packet flow, correct? Like how the packet flows and what is the app ID, user ID, and content ID.
I know.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Don't worry, everything is there only. And yesterday itself, I mentioned all those topics. So
sorry, I didn't join that call. Yeah, might be that's the reason.
Yeah. So you can just go through that video maybe one more time. But yes, I did not mention the serial order. Reason is sometime batch to batch we have to observe what is the flow. But I'll tell you.
Madam, I am new person to the group and I joined just 20 minutes ago. So I have one question, madam. I want to know, madam. I have 4-year experience and 1 year experience in networking. I just completed CCNA. Before that, I was working as a desktop support engineer. Now it will be better to move direct firewall or after CCNP I have to move firewall.
No, sir, it's okay. In fact, your firewall, this Palo Alto firewall, definitely we have to have some idea about what is network address, IP address, and
yeah, definitely.
But I think you will be okay. No need to worry. So most of the time, in my batches, people are not even from computer science area. They are from civil, they are from mechanical and